river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me. Run through...
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest. If I sound a little funny and croaky, it's because I got a real kick in the pants from Mother Nature. Made it through the COVID thing, had the shots, healthy as... 2 weeks ago, my husband came down with what we found out was a cold. He's still COVID-free. And a week later, I got it. COVID-free still. We took all the precautions. And it has been, as I say, a real kick in the pants because it's like ironic. You escape for over a year. We all were avoiding things. And the doctor thinks it's because the mask things and everything has been lowered. Restrictions are off. And guess what? I guess the cold is going around. So at least I don't feel so alone anymore. I thought none of my friends have it. So today we have Debi Graham-Leard with us again. And she was with us with her, was it your first book, Deb, or second?
My first and second.
Her first and second books. Debi, welcome.
Thank you.
She has got one in the series of the Gwen Andrews mystery series. She has this one, Wedding Interrupted. I'm going to get a shot of that. Did you design the cover?
Yes, I do that with my publisher.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
We actually tried to get a photograph of my own trellis in my backyard for that. But
Yeah.
we have a big tree in the middle of the deck, so we couldn't quite get a good image. But she found that one online, and I liked it better because it has an empty podium in the middle.
Yes.
Indicating the wedding interrupted.
This was perfect. I mean, when you look at it, I like the green, first of all, and then I like the way it's shaped. This is Gwen Andrews mystery number 4.
Correct.
And then the one that I remember the most before that was the uninvited guest. That's a picture of the girl looking at the door. She's going to walk up.
Right, with the luggage.
And dare we say she's working on the 5th right now? Right.
I am.
What's the name of that?
It's not actually, and you skipped Bed, Breakfast, and Blackmail when I was here before.
Yeah.
This was not published yet.
Yeah.
So this was published in 2019.
Okay, I think you told me about that.
It was in the works. We talked a little bit about it.
Right.
And then the uninvited guest, not the Wedding Interrupted was published last summer.
Yeah.
Right.
You've been a busy girl.
I have.
Now, Wedding Interrupted. Nobody thinks about going to a wedding and someone's going to get off, right? They don't think about that. This is set in Massachusetts, at Cape Cod. And I had one of the pages in here I loved. It tells you about, I'll tell you the whole story, but how could anyone determine if his impalement on that rebar spike was an accidental collapse by a drunken man or an intentional act of malice by another hand? You don't see it coming. I mean, at your wedding, what gave you the idea to write that?
Your ideas come from all sorts of places, and a lot of times your brain just throws in something that you hadn't even thought about.
Right.
And what I was thinking when I wrote that was basically that her cousin had kind of forced Gwen into hosting this wedding for a niece that she didn't really know, and the cousin was a little bit overbearing kind of thing. So I had to come up with something to go wrong at the wedding.
And it did.
It did. And as Gwen and her cousin start to try to figure out what really happened, because it's the mother of the bride who is blamed for that death. And her cousin says, "My daughter didn't do it. You've got to help me prove she's innocent." So that is how Gwen gets dragged into this particular mystery.
Right.
Because when you're writing these cozy type of mysteries, your main sleuth has to have a reason to get involved. They can't just step in and say, "Oh, I'm going to solve this one for you."
Yeah.
There has to be a connection of some sort.
I like cozy mysteries. Now, a few years ago, I would have said, "What is it?" first of all, and then when somebody would tell me, I'm like, "Nah, it's not much of a thriller." That's okay. I think during and just before the pandemic, with all the stress going on, I began to gravitate toward cozy mysteries. You know, those little paperbacks. Hers is a nicer, bigger size. But most of them come in the regular paperback.
Right.
If you go over to Barnes & Noble, they have, like, you probably know, they have that whole section with cozy mysteries in it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them have little doggies on it or little kitties and that type of thing on their cover. It's something I really enjoy now.
Right.
But on the next night, I'll probably be reading a Robert Parker mystery.
Right.
Two very different things.
Something a little more serious. Cozy mysteries are more gentle. They don't concentrate so much on the death itself. They concentrate on the mystery of finding out what happened.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. When did you start getting into writing, Debbie?
When I retired in 2010.
What were you doing before that?
I was in the marketing department of Herff Jones. It's a jewelry company down in Providence.
And then you decided on retirement or before retirement that you'd be writing these books?
No, after retirement, I'm sitting at home, and I rewatched our interview of a few years ago, so we had already talked about this.
A lot of new viewers out there.
That's true.
Yes.
I had put down a mystery that I had read, and I'm pretty sure it was a Carolyn Hart, one of my favorite authors. And I finished the story, loved it. I said, why can't I write one of these? I should be able to throw away one of these mysteries.
Yeah.
So I started writing, and I found out very quickly it's not as easy as you think.
It's what?
It's not as easy as you think
to
write.
I don't think so.
A novel. Yeah. So I had a very long learning curve for my first book, which took me about 4 years to publish. And the second one took me 2 years. The third was a year. The fourth was a year. And now I'm working on an entirely different story.
The Life She Left Behind. Another beautiful cover.
Yeah, and this is just my mock-up of the cover. But this has nothing to do with Gwen. This is not part of the series.
Okay, so this is a new thing. I'm not part of the Gwen series.
Not part of the Gwen Andrews series. This is standalone.
Yeah.
About a young woman who breaks up with the man she's dating in Massachusetts, and he becomes unhappy with her. She decides to run away to her home state of Delaware to her 20th high school reunion, just to place distance between them. And then the story takes off from there.
He must have been, don't have to tell, stalking her maybe?
He was becoming a stalker. Yeah.
I write one of those things on Dateline, the mysteries, the real mysteries, the ones that you saw on TV, the Dateline and all that type of thing. That stalking thing came up, I think, last night or the other night, one of the ones I was flipping through. It gives you the real whim-whams when you see it.
It does. It's very scary. I have a neighbor who went through it years and years and years ago, before they actually had the stalking laws in Massachusetts.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, so...
How did it turn out?
He was never sent to jail.
Was he actually accused in court? No?
No, because the laws didn't exist. He was just a pest at that point. Harassment.
And he was dangerous for her, though.
Well, scary.
Yeah.
Scary. So I that's what I picked up on when I was writing this
The
one.
Life She Left Behind, and that's coming.
And this has a double meaning, that title, because she left her home state of Delaware and went to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But now she's left Massachusetts to go down to Delaware. So where is she going to end up?
I bet I know, but I'm not going to say anything.
Which life will she leave behind again?
Yeah, exactly. So that may come out when?
I was hoping for this summer, but it's not finished yet, so probably maybe in the fall.
In the fall, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Boy, we're talking to Debbie Graham-Leard, and she has been with us before. She is an author, and Wedding Interrupted is the most recent one that I've read, and it's beautiful. It's the Gwen Andrews mystery number 4. Is this the last of the series?
I don't think so. The way I left that at the end, how far have you gotten? How far have you gotten in a story? You're more than halfway.
Yeah.
You're more than halfway.
Yeah.
That one ends that it can either stop there or I can come back to it.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. So once I finish this standalone, I think I am going to go back to that.
You're going to stick with it?
I think I am.
I think you should. I love
and
it. You know, why not?
Actually, a very good friend of mine and I were traveling up to a vintage market a few weekends ago, and she's a big fan of my writing.
Yeah.
And we were just brainstorming a possible plot for the next story, which I think might take place on one of the islands.
Nantucket or
Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, Block Island. I have to pick one. But what she told me that I did not know is that I think it's Oak Bluffs on Martha's Vineyard is a dry town. You cannot get a drink
really
in Oak Bluffs. Yeah.
I don't know what
So
was
I'm
that from
thinking-
Prohibition days. It just never.
I guess leftover perhaps. I still have to research that.
Yeah.
But I think that could be worked into a nice mystery
Oh, definitely.
somehow.
Oh, yeah. Debbie, how can they get a hold of your book, Wedding Interrupted?
Okay. My books, all 4 books, are available through Amazon.com. All you need to do is put my name in the search box, Debi Graham-Leard, and up will come all 4 books. They are available as actual books or as e-books for those readers who like to read on their Kindle.
I have friends who say, a couple of friends, my majority of friends are book readers, holding the book and smelling the book and reading the book, which is me. I love that. But I've got a couple of friends who say, you got to try the Kindle. I'm like, no, I don't get the same feeling. It's just kind of...
I don't know, it's about half and half right now, I think.
Which do you prefer, being an author?
I prefer a book, and I also do a lot of audiobooks
Oh, that's great.
when I'm riding in the car.
Do you have books in Tatnach or Barnes & Noble? Or is that it yet? Do you have any of your books?
Oh, no, but they can order them.
That's so cool.
Any store can order the books through, I think it's Graham, Ingram. Ingram is the group.
You could do that, yeah. What was I going to say? You didn't appear at Tatnach over in Westboro, did you?
No.
Gosh, you'd love it.
No.
You're not shy. You could always tell. You're a seasoned author. Some of the newer authors that I've had, they have a choice. You walk into it, and you could sit up closer to the cash register, and you don't have to go in but the big room in the back has all the seats for an audience. And if you're great at speaking and this type of thing, you just get up to your podium and you talk about your book or whatever you want to do. So you got kind of choices. I think you'd love it. It's also got women's jewelry, and there's soaps. There's a little cafe, quiet areas in the back to read. It's right up the street in Westboro.
I'll have to
Next
check it out.
town up here.
I'll check it out.
Very, very popular. Then, of course, there's Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Barnes & Noble near you at all?
The closest one is up in Walpole, which is, 10, 15 miles from me.
Yeah, I've driven through Walpole on the long way to Canton. All the way. I hate the highway, so I used to go 140 to 1 something and then snake my way up through.
Snake your way through.
So you're not that far from Walpole. Maybe, 15 you said?
Yeah, 10, 15
10,
miles.
15 minutes. No, where have you appeared? I think you're going to appear, or you did appear at Book Lovers Gourmet.
Book Lovers Gourmet in Brewster. I will be there on Saturday. This Saturday. From from 2 to 3:30. I will be there chatting with readers.
Is that your first time with Deb Horn?
No, I was there before.
Yeah.
You had mentioned them during our interview, so I got in hold of Deb.
Yeah.
And I was there maybe 2 years ago. And of course, last year everything fell apart and closed down. So we arranged for me to be there this year.
Oh, that's great. She is terrific.
She is. She's very nice.
All I have to do is say, okay, I'm sending you another author, or I suggest it to one of the gals I'm helping to publish. And she's just, everyone's open, the artists, authors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
she's
cute
a
little
sweetie.
place. But, they moved, too.
Yes, she's in a new space. I haven't been there yet.
I haven't either. I think we went by it when we were going up to Webster the other day. It's in a different, is it in a plaza?
I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be very far from where she used to be.
Yeah.
Like down the street, maybe?
It was so cute, the one she had. I can see that one. It was like a little house.
Yes.
It's adorable. But maybe this has more space that she probably needs.
That's what I'm thinking. It's bigger.
So now, this Saturday, which would be June, 24th, 26th,
Yes.
at 1 o'clock?
2 to 3:30.
2 to 3:30 at the Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster, and it's right there off Main Street. You know, if you come up Route 16 from this area over here, that's their Main Street. I believe it's right off of that. But it's easy to find online.
Well, throw it in the GPS and it takes you there.
Yeah, definitely. Now, are you planning anything else coming up that people might not be able to make it this Saturday?
I have a private meeting in a friend's house, and I am starting, now that everything is beginning to open, I'm calling all these places,
Very good.
retirement villages and senior centers and
That's
things
good.
like
You
that.
know, it's a lot of my authors say, well, why on your list of places you've researched are you sending me to senior centers? I'm saying, why not? If you're a children's author, seniors have grandchildren. If you're an author for adult books or whatever, they like to read too.
They love to read.
Yeah.
They do.
I remember one gal I sent there, terrific writer, and she went to Mendon. I highly recommend the Mendon Senior Center, right down here, another town right next door. And she said, I think she brought only 10 books with her, all gone, and I think she had to send more to other people. She got yeah. So there's so many senior centers out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, and not just that, but women's groups, that type of thing.
Yes.
Some cafes are letting people come too now. I think in Rhode Island they've got 3, 4, 5 of them. They've opened it up to not just coffee, but authors can come in. They have like a book thing. There's a new one in Worcester, and that's the same type of thing. Come on in, and like you have your baristas and your coffee, and then books, and they have an author speak. It's good.
It is good. And luckily, all of those things are starting to open up again.
Yes, and it's heaven on earth to go into a store now, you know, a grocery store, and not, like my husband the other day, we were in the emergency room at the hospital because he wasn't quite sure what he had. It was just a bad cold thing going around. But he was so, from wearing it for 4 hours sitting there, it was soaked, the mask, from all the sweat and everything, from just, I think he's told me he had to change it 4 times. And I know when I've been somewhere, maybe you have the same thing, Debbie, you have to hold it out sometimes just to get a breath of fresh air. But no problem wearing it. If they say wear it, I wear it.
Yeah, you have to.
You stayed healthy too, right?
I did. No problems at all.
Did you get Moderna or Pfizer?
Moderna?
Yeah.
And we got that while we were in Florida.
In Florida.
Yeah.
What part of Florida do you go to?
We're in Largo, near Tampa.
Is that near
Near Tampa.
Del Rey or Boca?
No, that's East Coast.
Del
we're on
Rey
the
is
Gulf.
also the East Coast? Okay.
We're on the Gulf Coast.
My aunt used to live in both Boca and Del Rey. I never went down there. You know, I never saw it. But that's what I always heard. We'd been to Fort Lauderdale when I was 6 years old.
Okay. Again, that's the East Coast.
That's still the East Coast. So you're on the West.
I'm on the Gulf Coast, on the West.
And you come up for the summer up here, right?
Summer, fall, and into the winter.
Here in
And
Massachusetts.
We don't go back down again until after Christmas.
Wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool. We have Debbie Graham Leard, and she is the author of Wedding Interrupted and Gwen Andrews Mystery #4. Will there be a copy downstairs for the dedicated authors section?
Yes, I will stop down there when I leave.
There you go.
Yeah.
Again, how can they get your book, Debbie?
All of my books are available on Amazon.com. To go into the search box, type in my name, Debbie Graham-Leard, and up will come the 4 mysteries, available as both books and also ebooks for the electronic readers.
Right, well, if you're in Upton or whatever, the people out in, I have a friend in Japan watching, you know, sometimes we'll get 300 hits in one day, 1 week, whatever.
Oh.
Well, once you hit YouTube, that's it.
Oh yeah, it makes the rounds.
That's the good news.
Yeah.
That's really good. I love the fact that we have the dedicated author section, especially for our local authors. And it's a great way to get the word out to people about your book. Do many of the libraries schedule now? They're beginning to, aren't they?
Yeah, they're beginning to open up just like everybody else. So it's a question of getting in touch with the right person and getting onto the calendar.
Exactly. This is right now. This is the last one right now in the series, or is it the other one?
No, that's the last one.
This is the last one right
at the
now
moment.
because she's
At
doing a
the moment.
standalone book, What was that called?
That is called The Life She Left Behind.
The Life She Left Behind. I want to read that.
I have to finish writing it first.
Well, hurry up. How long does it take you to write a book generally?
Well, I'm getting pretty good now. I'm about a year.
Yeah.
About a year.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
We have a resident whodunit. You may know him, Glenn Ickler. He lives over in Hopedale, and he's an older gentleman, and he summers on Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there in age, and this man is amazing. Every year, he pumps one right out. You would also probably love to go to the Hopedale Day in the Park coming up this September.
Day in the Park.
I will be there, not as an author. I'm an artist, but he sets up there, and you two are very different. You might enjoy that. I can send you some information about that.
Yes, please do.
I think you would in September. Of course, if it rains, it's the next day, I believe.
So it starts on a Saturday, rain day, Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know. And it's only $40 for your space. And it is, well, I've been there before. It is well attended. You might as well just call it a complete event fair. It's just center of Hopedale, which is right up the street in their big park. And every artists, mostly probably artists and crafters. That's why I tell my authors, get to these arts and crafts shows because you will stand out.
Yes, you will be all alone as an author.
And make sure, I know at these, these big book fairs like up in Danvers-Port. Have you ever been to that one, the New England Authors Book Fair? It's supposed to be yearly. Of course, with COVID they didn't, but it's up at the bay where the yachts are in Danvers-Port. It's like this beautiful castle. You walk in, and that's another great place to go. All the book fairs, I think they have a lot of them in Boston. There's one in Providence, Rhode Island, every December.
Yep. They have them everywhere.
Yeah, it is. Like, unfortunately, everybody took a dive over the pandemic.
Yeah, it's true.
Were you down in Florida during the pandemic?
Yes.
How are things down there?
Things in Florida were actually more open than they were up here.
Really?
And we could get our COVID shots down there earlier than we would have been able to get them up here.
I know a lot of the retirees enjoy it down there during the winter. Were they giving the shots down there more for retirees first to try and get that population?
Well, they lowered their age to 65 much quicker than Massachusetts did.
Really? Yeah? Okay. I thought, what I get a kick out of is what AARP, you hit 50, so they start sending you this, propaganda for AARP. Now, I remember seeing AARP on my parents' coffee table. And when and I'm like, heck no. I think a lot of us are throwing the... But you know what? They're catching up with the baby boomers because they had... Whenever I began to see things like Paul McCartney, they're clever. And some of the more up to date, more, that's our generation. It's like, oh, maybe it is kind of cool. And then you can see medical advice that is very timely, or somebody's story about maybe a musician from back then, or... It's great.
Michael Douglas shows up every once in a while.
Yeah. And they're trying.
Yeah.
Because with the senior centers, a lot of baby boomers and Gen Xers are not too crazy about going there because they don't think they'd find anything they like to do. I think they're trying to pump things up there too, like having an author come, which is great. Again, it's like the seniors have grandchildren, and they like to read. They often has a book fair over there in Mendon. So they even have a book fair. So it's well worth it to go to the senior centers. It really, really is. Even if you're a children's author, come on, you got to get out there. So you're going to be at the Book Lovers Gourmet this Saturday, the 26th of June.
Correct. At
2:30. And just bring yourself, right?
Exactly.
Come on and meet Debi.
Come on in. Love to meet you.
And are you going to bring all of the books you've
All 4 of them, yes.
All 4. She'll have her 4 of them there. And she's working on The Life She Left Behind. And that's just out of the series. That's not part of...
Correct. This is a standalone.
Standalone.
Once and done.
Yeah. Well, let me know when it comes out, because we're definitely going to have her back on, if she'd like to be on.
I would love to be on again.
We'll get her back on, and That looks like another good one. And you and your publisher work together on the cover,
On
right?
the covers. She has not seen this one yet.
You picked it out?
Yeah, I created that. I didn't want it to look like the Gwen Andrews series because
Right.
I didn't want my readers to be confused.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
Because all of those, this is the third one and the second one and the first and the last, and they all have that oval picture.
You're right.
Yeah, so they look like they belong together.
Oh, definitely.
Okay,
The
so
one I
that's
most remember before this one arrived was with her with her suitcases going in.
right, right.
It's totally.
So I wanted that one to look totally different, which it does.
What a great idea. Yeah, definitely. It's going
Yeah.
to stand, as you say, stand alone.
Right.
Is it going to be the same size paperback?
It'll be the same size as these, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. One more time before we close, how can they get a hold of you and your
All
book?
right, if you're looking for any of the Gwen Andrews mysteries, you can get them on Amazon.com. Just go into the search box, type in Debi Graham Leard, and up will come all 4 books. They're available in both hard copy and ebooks.
How's that?
How's that?
More and more of them are being able to come out now, more and more of the authors with their new books, and it is fun. It is so exciting. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
And
you for
I look
asking me to
forward
return.
Hopefully this fall.
Hopefully.
Maybe it's coming out in maybe, well, if it comes out in September,
I don't know.
You don't know
Until
yet.
I finish it.
Yeah.
I can't get it into my publisher's
all
calendar.
right, but she would definitely
Yeah.
she'll have Wedding Interrupted. Don't miss seeing her up at Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jen.
Yep. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems. Moving through the cloudless sky,